What's up, party people? It's Keys Dan with RadioWhat.com, DJLittleRock.com, coming to you live and in living color from the Radio What studios. And this is my podcast, What Makes You Famous? It's an extension of the RadioWhat.com internet radio station that I've been running for quite some time. And if you need DJ services, where do I always send you? DJLittleRock.com. One more time, DJLittleRock.com. Check availability and get a free price quote, and maybe you can have me at your next event. You know I like to party. I like to party with the people. The people need to be entertained. Are you not entertained? Let me entertain you. Make your next thing a big one. Speaking of entertainment, today on the program, I have Matt Pogue. Oh, you've heard that name? Matt Pogue of Simple Stone. Oh, you know that band, Simple Stone out of Sydney, Australia. Oh, you definitely know that band. They rock, okay? I've been listening to their music all day long, and they rock. And you're going to get to learn about Simple Stone and Matt Pogue in the next few minutes. So stick around. Very excited. I'm excited for you. I'm excited for me, and I'm excited for you to hear about Matt Pogue and Simple Stone. This week's show's Friday night. That's my one public show. I will be at the Rab in Conway, Arkansas, the Video Dance Party Karaoke Jam. Yes, I said karaoke. You're the stars of the show at the Rab on Friday night from 8 p.m. until 12:30 in the AM. Always a great time. Full bar, kitchens open, pool tables, pool tournament on Friday nights. So if you want to try your hand at playing pool and possibly make some money while you're doing it, I encourage you to check out the Rab. Friday night, the dance party is on. Oh, and try the food. Oh, my goodness, it's delicious. They always send me home with a little something, something. My mouth is watering just thinking about it. Come visit with your friends at the Rab on Friday night, Conway, Arkansas. Be there. 8 p.m. until 12:30 in the AM. And then on Saturday, I think I have a wedding on Saturday. In fact, I'm pretty sure I have a wedding on Saturday. I love my weddings on Saturday. I love my parties on Saturday. Always a good time, always something different. The Video Dance Party, and it usually ends up being a karaoke jam as well. Even my private events end up being karaoke jams because people like to sing. And I got magic microphones. Everybody sounds pretty good. Although they may not sound as good as Matt Pogue of Simple Stone. Let's get into it with Matt Pogue, Simple Stone. I got him on Skype, so if you're listening to the audio version, I encourage you to check out the video version on my YouTube page, youtube.com/user/KeysDan. Skyping Matt Pogue of Simple Stone now.
Yeah, beautiful.
Look at him.
I'll have to apologize, mate. I'm actually at work.
Okay, you sound real good.
Good to hear.
Matt Pogue, where you at?
There you go. I'm in Sydney, Australia, my man.
Sydney, the big city. You know, the
big city.
Okay, what do I know about Sydney? Uh-oh, here he comes. Here he comes with the freaking Crocodile Dundee. No, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't say shrimp on the barbie. No, don't do it. Don't say good day, mate.
That's not a knife.
Don't say good day, mate. Okay, I said it. All right. Sorry, man. Dude.
It's all good.
I've been listening to your music. You guys rock. Simple Stone.
Hey, cool.
I'm here to tell everybody, all the listeners, well, my loyal listener. I always like to talk to that one person that's out there that's listening. And
Man,
I'm talking to you.
Oh, I get it. We play to the people in the back of the room every night, man. You know, like the people in the front, they're already here, but the people in the back of the room is where your audience is at.
Well,
so I totally get that.
You know,
totally
that's
get
right.
That concept.
Well, the thing is, you have a very stripped down band. Okay, I got tastes of Rush. I got tastes of oh my gosh, of Korn. I've got tastes of ZZ Top. It's a three-piece.
Wow.
Okay, I got tastes of Van Halen, but there's a lot of Rush because I'm hearing the singer guitarist, which is you.
Yeah.
I'm hearing the bass, which is, oh my goodness, so well done. And then I'm hearing the backbeat, so hard hitting, guitar driven, bass rhythm, backbeat hard with your vocals. You can do guttural that Oh my gosh, man. It would hurt
Wow,
my
that's
throat
flattering.
if I tried to do that. But okay, let's take it back, man. We got some time here. Hopefully you have a little bit of time. How much time do you have?
Yeah, man. Look, what do you got? Half an hour? I got your time. So
Okay, no problem. I'll try to make it quick, man. But I want people to know, anybody can go out there, search up Simple Stone, search up Matt Pogue, and you're gonna find the music. But I want to hear about the man behind the music a little bit. Tell me about little itty bitty Matt Pogue. Where did you start out in this great big world of ours?
where did we start out? Well, like everybody else in a womb, really. Came out to be a tiny little dude, grew up to be a guitar player. Mate, found my roots in rock and roll. Wanted to make it heavy, do it heavy. Not too heavy, not metal heavy, but big sound kind of heavy. And found the right dudes to do it, and away we go.
Okay, I didn't mention in the beginning, I'm a child of the 80s, class of 86 rules, and I am hearing you're talking about the heavy but not too heavy. You have the sounds of the hair bands, the metal bands, the ballads that you put out, the hard rock that you put out. Still got a little bit of Vince Neil in there, not just Oh my goodness, there's some Motley Crue, there's some Cinderella, there's some of that in there where you have that presence where I know if people go to a Simple Stone show, they're going to get their money's worth. They're going to get a show, not just not just getting out of the house, getting away from their big screen TV. You're going to give the people what they want. You're going to give them a little extra. I mean, where did you learn all this stuff? I know you weren't born with a guitar in your hands. You weren't born with metal records streaming through your ears. Who's giving you the giving you the instrument? Who's giving you the records? Who's turning you on to all the music that's influencing you? And who's influencing you?
Yeah, right. Well, that's a couple of big questions right there. So I guess when I was in high school, I got sick of studying, man. I bought a Strat, bought a distortion pedal, bought a big amplifier, and decided to make some noise. I'm self-taught, and just kind of went about it however I wanted to do it, which has been really freeing for us because if we write a ballad or we write a heavy song, it doesn't really matter. We don't play within the boundaries of what we think, constrict us, so we don't sort of bother with that. Influence-wise, I grew up on all of the Metallicas, the Skid Row, the Motley Crue, AC/DC, all that sort of stuff. And then coming into the 90s, I always liked the, Sepulturas and the Megadeths and, all that sort of stuff. But it wasn't until I found a band called King's X, which you'd be familiar with, and Dogman particularly came across my ears, and I just breathed it in. And they do a lot of vocal melodies, they've got a big sound. And I was like, that's what's floating my boat. And that's what I want to do, three guys doing harmonies, nobody particularly really aggressive vocal nature. The big screams were absent, but it gave my particular vocal range a position in a band. And, I just went out pursuing that. I almost sort of credit them to giving me the confidence to go out and be me in a band. And I've had many drummers, but I met a particular guy that we're still friends with. He doesn't play with us at the minute, but he was just such an accomplished drummer, a big, heavy hitter. He was busy all of the time, playing the right part, not overplaying, but just playing the right parts. And it formed a big part of our sound. And that's been, integral to maintaining. And I've been fortunate enough over the years, I've always been able to find that guy. So, drums, as you mentioned, the backbeat, the drums and the bass are big to us. We're only a three-piece, and we make a ton of noise, man. When we're doing it live, they're carrying it, The boys are carrying it, and hats off to them because they're killing it, you know.
Well, Matt Pogue, you being the guitarist, being the vocalist, it's very important that you recognize the rhythm section, the drum, and you have to, because you know that's the driving force of you're the one that's out front, that's telling the story, but they're the ones that are getting the people moving, making them feel a certain way, making them feel it in their lungs, especially if you have a good place with a good sound system. And if you have a drummer that's drumming hard, oh my goodness, I hate it when they put them behind plexiglass. Oh, that's so stifling for a drummer, but I know they have to do it from time to time, especially if the club is small and the people's ears, their little ears are going to get hurt. No, this big bad band is going to make my ears deaf for the next couple of days. Well, that's what I want, man.
Make it bleed, man.
Yeah, sometimes you want to go out and you want to rage, man. You've been working hard all week, and you're still working. I could see you in your work shirt. For the people that are listening to the audio version of this, check out the video version. You're gonna see my man right there, you know, in his work shirt, taking some time out, probably on his lunch break. So instead of eating his sandwich, he's talking to you. Yes, you. All right, but.
Sitting in my Hilux ute, you know, doing the Australian dream, my man.
No, but that's fantastic. Okay, look, the day job affords you to be able to do the night job. The day job gives you that steady income, gives you that insurance. A lot of people, you know, don't know that if you you go and you want to be a musician full time, you may not get that insurance. You may not get that steady paycheck. Yes, the money can be good, but the work's not steady. It's always a hustle. But you've been hustling from way back. You said school's not good for me. I'm going to go to the school of hard knocks. I'm going to be a starving musician, you know, a starving artist, which can and does happen. But there's those few that really put their effort into it and put their mind to it. And I see that you've put, man, your YouTube videos go back at least 6 years, and there's video to that. Yeah, I'm a child of the 80s. I already mentioned that. So having that visual, having that YouTube video, yes, I get to play that at the club on Friday night, at the event on Saturday. If I get to choose some of the music, you know, some Simple Stone's going to be up there on the screen. And and people are going to go, who is that? Oh, that's Simple Stone. They're out of Sydney, Australia. You should give them a look. You should give them a listen. You should buy some merchandise so they can keep doing what they do.
Buy some merchandise.
Absolutely, man. Because I know that streaming your music, you're not making a lot of money with the streaming. A lot of the bands are going live. That's the only way to make money. And the merchandise, buying a T-shirt, get a hat, buy a sticker. That's where you make your money nowadays.
That's where it's at.
Is that what's happening?
Totally. Yeah, we still print a CD and sell that online, but we don't make any money out of the online streams, man. You know, nobody does. I don't know. The whole industry going to streams online's killed just about every musician I've known, but I'll never understand it. So what do? You know, we put out other forms of media. We for purchase, we put out T-shirts, etc., and try and make a living out of that. Hit the road, get out, play shows, do all that.
Yeah, I often wonder what are record companies doing for an artist now. That used to be the distribution, used to be getting the albums pressed out and sending them all over the country and all over the world to be listened to by folks like me. But that doesn't happen anymore. For the most part, the bands are doing the work on their own, and maybe they have a small team that's working on their social media. Now, I did find your website, which is very, very informative, thesimplestoneband.com.au, because you're on Australia, and it does mention, that you are the singer, songwriter, guitar player. That is your job. And I do want to talk about your bandmates. You do have Shanks. I watched the video from 6 years ago when I was going up through the years. Yes. I found this is my first thought of you. you were the Motley Crue, you were the lead singer from the hair band at that time. The bassist kind of looked new wave. He was wearing a suit, so he had that new wave feel to him. The drummer was wearing cornrows at the time, so he kind of looked like Korn, like a 90s guy. Did I get any of that right? What were those influences?
Yeah, you're right there. Yeah, that band at the time, that's obviously the Hands film clip with the suits. Cracking song. It's actually one of my favorites that we do. Heath in the time he was the bass player. He's a huge Motley Crue fan, huge Nicky Six fan. We're all of that kind of era. Drummer at the time, he's actually probably more of a Blink 182 fan than anybody. Travis Barker was his, big go-to guy for inspiration. And, so look, as I say, we just put it together. We just, knock it out and come up with a concept for a clip and a concept for a look and get out there. The hair, my hair, it's always kind of going to stay. I don't know. It's like a legacy thing, I guess. If I cut it off, I'd probably lose all my strength, might lose some mojo, but, we're just doing our thing, in the style that we know how. So if we do sort of, cross genres and we do cross eras and decades, then hats off to us, man. That's awesome.
Well, Matt Pogue, many of the hair bands cut their hair. I'm thinking about Eddie Van Halen. When he cut his hair, all the ladies, there was like a 3 million ladies in the world had let out a gasp. Oh!
Yeah, they all just cried.
Oh my gosh! It was like Samson getting his hair cut by Delilah. But I don't think he lost. I don't think he lost anything. Now you said you were playing a Strat. Tell me what kind of Strat you had for the listener.
Yeah, so my first guitar was a Hondo Strat. I picked it up off a friend, tore the single coils out, stuck a humbucker in it. Makes a better noise with a humbucker in it. Then played that for a few years and ended up switching to a Les Paul, and that kind of became my home. So I play a Les Paul or a 335 pretty much most of the time, and that became my home, I guess.
Well, I'm not familiar
Strats
with
are awesome.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with a Hondo Strat. I had a Squier Strat, which is like their lesser.
Yeah, it's similar.
Yeah, their lesser brand, and it had 3 single coil pickups. But then I had the Ibanez 120 that had 2 humbuckers on it, which is double coils. And I think that Ibanez, it sounded so much richer because of the pickups. Yeah. I mean, talking about a sound and what is it you want? Do you want the tinny sound when you're playing certain songs, and do you want the warm sound when you're playing other songs? I'm not much of a guitarist. I play 3 chords maybe. And sure. You're self-taught. How does somebody do that, man? That is a superpower.
Well, thank you. I'll go back to the sound. So I'm pretty, like most guitar players, I'm pretty particular about my sound. So I experimented with the Strat, and I didn't quite get to where I was going. Went to the Les Paul. It was a bigger sound. It was a more solid sound. And I use a particular kind of pickup. For those that are listening, it's a Damasio Tone Zone, that know what that is. It gives me a high amount of output, but I've got a lot of articulation across the high strings, so I can pick chords and still get the voicing correct, right? So I get a bigger sound. So rather than just playing like a power chord or something, I'll play a full chord, a lot of open strings. So it just produces for me a bigger sonic output, I guess.
Well, it's good that you pay attention to your equipment, because you have a lot of responsibility being the front man and the guitarist. You're not only doing the rhythm guitar, you're doing lead as well. So that's a lot of responsibility on your shoulders. You have to tell that story, like I was saying before. Yeah, you got the rhythm section that's driving that beat, but if you fall asleep at the wheel, that's it. The show's over. You know, they're
We're
there
hitting
to.
the fence, man.
What's that?
I say we're hitting the fence. You know, we're coming into a pole if I fall asleep. So
Absolutely, man. You got that right. Oh my goodness. But you know, thankfully that doesn't happen. I haven't seen that on your videos. You're bringing everything you got. And the quality of the music. Yeah, you can make a demo at your house with maybe $1,000 worth of equipment, but you are actually going to a studio. You have to be. Who is recording your music? Because it is clean.
Yeah. So what our process is, we demo everything. So I'll do a demo. I've got a recording rig. I've got a studio in my house. I use that for, as I say, creating demos or just sending ideas to the boys and just interest sort of stuff. But then we go into a studio and get someone to do it a hell of a lot better than we can. And at the present time, for the last probably 4 or 5 years, we've been using Studio Blues here in Sydney. Dave is a fantastic fella. He lets us work the way that we need to work. He's an excellent dude. He's got a great ear. You know, he's always onto us about, the minute detail. And I think that's what makes, a fantastic record, We're really happy with the results that we got out of the latest album.
Now, you say Studio Blues. You cut out a little bit because of this technology. Studio Blues in Sydney, Australia. Yeah, I'd like to give credit where credit is due, because if you're getting that good sound, if anybody's in the area, I want you to use the same same guy, same equipment, because the engineer is like an editor in the movie. That's the guy that can make the music that much better. You're going to take that raw material that you get fed, that Simple Stone is going to bring to you. You're going to get that. I don't know. Do you guys record all together, or are you recording separately? Because it used to be back in the 60s and 50s, you would all get in one room and just play your hearts out. But nowadays, I'm hearing more and more where it's a lot of, I'll get the vocals, I'll get the drums, and then I'll put it all together using a equipment. Tell me how do you do it?
Well, it's a bit of both ways, man. For the last record, we isolated everything. We single-tracked absolutely everything, and that gave us the most amount of flexibility for editing, etc. But we normally demo live, so we'll just have an old school tape recorder or a digital device or something like that in the room. We record the song, and that's kind of where you can learn to vibe off the individual focus of each section of an album, or a track. So if there's something that really needs to heavy up, you'll feel the groove just in the room, and then that becomes a focus of something we take into the studio and try and record. The last album, Chronicles, we live demoed everything. So we recorded the entire album live, and then went in and multi-tracked everything. The multi-track came out better than the live recording, just because of the flexibility that you have. But then the album was done, and we went back in to do Losing You, which we did live. So, it's a bit of both worlds, man. It's however it comes out,
Yeah, what's a tape recorder?
I would say moving forward, multi-tracking is a lot easier. To have a drummer in a room, a bass player in a room, guitar, all that sort of stuff separate. It gives us the most amount of editable flexibility.
Well, I know my listeners are going to ask, what's a tape recorder, Grandpa?
What's a tape recorder?
Are you actually
it's the
using...
thing that came after vinyl, fellas. It'll catch up with you soon.
Yeah, are you actually using cassette tapes? Do they still make those?
No.
Okay, so this is a digital digital recorder of some kind.
I actually have it in the back seat of my car at the present time. Yes, it is a multi-track desk with a hard disk recorder in it. Records to SD card. Everything's on when the lights are flashing. Rock music's being made. So
A good creator such as yourself has to be ready at all times. My goodness, I just bought myself a little set of wireless microphones that attach to my phone.
Oh, yeah?
So if I ever have to do a podcast, like out on the field, I can do a video podcast anywhere, anytime, any
Yeah, wow.
place. And if
Cool.
you have that in your back seat, so if the mood strikes you, I'm sure there's a guitar somewhere within arm's reach at most times in your life, right?
There's one in the back. So yeah, there's one at my desk. Funny thing, like if creativity takes me, I just rip it out and away we go.
Yeah.
The cool thing is I also use the voice recorder on my iPhone a lot. That way I can just knock ideas into it and then come back to them, maybe that night or the next day or whenever. Maybe, I still go through them to pull out little ideas that I had months ago, and that kind of forms the library of ideas that we've got floating around. So,
Well, I mentioned you're the songwriter. My goodness, most of the songwriters that I've ever talked to have so many ideas popping through their heads, and if it's all they can do to get them out on paper or get them into a recorder, do you wake up in the middle of the night in a cold sweat and go, "Oh, that was a good riff. Hold on, I got to put that down."
Dude, it happens. So, Passing Through, right? So the second single from the album, track number 3 off Through This Dark. I was sitting there watching a movie with my kids, and I'd actually put down all of the track, and I kind of built it a little bit mathematically. I had this conceptual idea about how the track was going to go together, and we'd already recorded the album. The album was done. It was being mixed. I came up with kind of these guitar parts and whatnot. And I'm sitting there watching a movie, and all of a sudden I got the idea for the lyrics. Completely unrelated to the movie because I wasn't really interested. To be honest, I was daydreaming and not focusing. But I just said, guys, I got to go. Nicked upstairs into my studio, put the mics on, got things live, ran some vocal ideas down, and sent it to the fellas like that afternoon and said, learn it. We're going into the studio next weekend. We're cutting this track. It's sick. And it became our second single. So, yes, when lightning strikes, you kind of need to pay attention, Dan,
Do you know that was sitting in my head? Lightning strikes, even when you're having kid time, which is great. It's nice that you can mix that family time, but then lightning strikes. Oh, that's exactly what I was thinking. And you.
Yeah, unfortunately, Dan, they did get ignored for the next 4 hours, but that's.
Kids are resilient, and they know that dad's got to get to work, and that's how they get their iPods and their cellular phones.
Totally.
That's how they get their video games. You want to play Fortnite? Daddy's got to get to work. But hey, look, and I know that you have a family, and that's a balance right there. To have a working band that wants to tour any kind of place, even if you want to go a half hour outside of Sydney, it takes a toll on a family. And you got 3 guys. Yeah. I mean, are the other 2 guys family oriented as well, or to try to get 3 guys?
No, they're not. No, Shanks doesn't have any kids, which is it's a bit sad because he'd make a rockin' dad, Bowie, my current drummer, is 21, so I'm hoping he doesn't have any kids. Maybe he's got illegitimate ones somewhere. I don't know, But yeah, we in playing in Australia. I'm sure it's the same in the States. It's a big country, Australia, in Sydney, there's not much of a rock scene anymore. Like, there's either really hardcore metal or really folky sort of stuff. So to get out and play shows, we've got to travel, yeah? So we've got a bunch of shows coming up in Orange, in Armidale, in Tamworth, and they're all 3, Orange is probably 3.5 hours drive west. Armidale's 6 hours north. We go in the last lot we did Yamba and Newcastle, and Yamba's like 8 hours drive or 7 hours drive or something north of here. So when we go to Melbourne, it's 10 hours south of us. So we just go and play all the regional centres and get out, play to good crowds, play to people that actually still want to hear rock and roll, and you got to travel to do it, you know.
Well, the dream, Matt Pogue, once you get to a certain age and you do want to start a family, and I tell the kids whenever I can, wait till you're 30, wait till you sow your oats, you know, do everything you want to do to get your career in order when you're 20s. But, you know, by the time you're 30, maybe start to think about settling down if that's what you want to do. You know, find a mate, you know, find somebody you can travel through this world together with. And I'm glad you have that, Matt Pogue.
Yeah.
You know, you have love, you have children, you know, you have a family that keeps you balanced and centered. I mean,
I have a very understanding family, my man. You know, when Dad disappears on Friday morning and doesn't sort of surface till 1 o'clock, you know, Monday morning, you know, there's forgiveness there. You know.
See, now that's the life of a touring musician. That is difficult at best. I mean, I try to keep it within 3 or 4 hours. I've done shows that are 4 hours away, but I want to get back to my family. I do want to get home, and you know, to my lovely wife. So sometimes I'll go out there, do a 4 or 5 hour show, and then drive on back. I mean, I could see you doing that as well, but at 10 hours. Yeah, that's difficult.
Yeah, well, you've got to make the trip worth it, man. You got to do a couple of shows on the hop, and you know, play them on the way there, on the way home. You know, as I say, leaving home Friday morning, you know, taking off north, and then coming back, doing 2 shows Friday, Saturday, and then a Sunday night somewhere like in Newcastle, which is kind of 2 hours drive from where I am, and you're home by 1 o'clock in the morning. You're at work at 7 o'clock the following morning. You know, it does get a bit tough, but we work that out with family, and you know, we make sure that we're around for the significant times, and you know, there's forgiveness there, as I said. So.
Well, I mean, beyond the monetary reward that makes it worthwhile, the other thing that makes it worthwhile is the fans actually showing up. My goodness, without people at the shows, you're not going to get booked again. So I implore, you know, my loyal listener, go and support your local band, and hopefully you're local to Sydney or Melbourne or any of the other places that I have to put on the What Makes You Famous walking tour when I go to Australia to try to see if we can follow and be groupies of the Simple Stone band out there. My goodness, man. You know, well, here's the other dream. Have you ever been able to take your family and make it a little mini vacation? Is that possible? Has that happened?
Yeah, we always used to. So I haven't done for the last little while. Kind of COVID ruined all that. Over here, COVID it messed the whole joint up, man. You know, like there were times when we couldn't leave the house. There was times we couldn't leave 5 kilometers away from our own home, and you had to show your license and address to get anywhere. So that kind of really messed stuff up, you know. But yeah, totally. The family used to travel with us, you know, when we were doing longer away dates. Nowadays they're kind of like, meh, I'm kind of sick of that, Dad, you know. But
well, I've been thinking,
time will definitely happen.
Well, I've been thinking about that. The whole world went through a shared experience. If we don't think that we're one people, my goodness, that COVID hit everyone on the planet in one way or another.
It really did.
I think we should know that we need to get along in this world. Quit fighting, you know. Go see a show. Go listen to some music. Listen to some Simple Stone music. You know, I always want to bring it back to that.
Sense.
Oh my goodness, man! But you know, hey, I guess people are gonna fight. I mean, I always fought with my brother growing up, and you know, that was my brother. I love that boy, you know. But why do we fight? Why fight? I don't know. But you know, this shared experience, we that should bring us all together, really. But you know, I think we heard how it was in Australia. It was pretty locked down, pretty tied down. I think you guys did it right. I don't think anybody did it better than New Zealand. What do they have, like 3 cases on the whole island?
Yeah, man. Yeah. They did really, really well. I don't know whether that's awesome for their, you know, herd immunity and stuff, but look, you know, they did well out of it anyway.
Well, I mean, that's like half of Europe. I think they went through the herd immunity. They had to lose a few folks, which is a sad thing for sure.
They lost a few folks. They certainly did. guess.
But they went that route. So we have that social experiment, that scientific data that can be used for years to come. Well, I'm sorry we became a science experiment, but I'm glad it's almost
we certainly
over.
do. We're all worldwide lab rats, man.
I'm glad it's almost over, man. Here in the south of the United States, here in Arkansas, I'm from Miami. Florida it's one thing, but Arkansas was a whole nother thing, and it's just we had there were science experiments from house to house. This guy was wearing a mask. This guy wasn't. Oh, it was crazy.
Right.
But, I know a lot of creatives during that time really let their juices flow. Man, they were making songs. They were making movies. They were writing scripts, writing books, writing plays. There was so much going on while you were locked down in your house. Did you take some of that time, I guess spend some time with the family, but then shoot upstairs and maybe write a song or two?
Yeah, well, funnily enough, we were when it kind of hit, we were on tour, and we booked some studio time in the back end of 2020 to do the record. But then the record took so long to do because we couldn't actually be in the same room as each other. It was illegal, right? So we were kind of sending lots of demos back and forth, and then we had a drummer change in that kind of time. Our drummer decided that music wasn't for him any longer, and we had to, recruit another fellow who was a session guy who'd done a lot of work with us anyway, to learn the album and then kind of try and get together in between the lockdowns to rehearse the music, So, yeah, we spent a lot of time honing the craft, I suppose. We had enough time to make a record, man, so we had enough time to make it good, yeah?
Well, I mean, there's very few bands.
Out of that.
Go ahead. Oh,
sorry.
Okay, there's very few bands that stand the test of time with the same personnel, for years and years on end. Even the Beatles, arguably one of the biggest bands of all time. They only lasted 9-10 years. What?
Yeah.
They really weren't, and then they had to split up because they were probably getting tired of each other. But there's only a few bands that have made it 20, 30, 40 years, maybe a handful, maybe two handfuls that I can think of right now that have the same personnel that they started with back, 30, 40 years ago, and they're still doing it.
Yeah.
But it's tough to keep a family together.
We've learned a lot about how to get on with each other, and how to have tolerance for each other, especially as we get older, We've got a really, family-based orientation to the relationships that we have with each other. If someone needs assistance, or if someone, it's kind of like having two brothers, I guess. If someone's not up to something, or they need, as I say, some assistance or some help, we just give it to them. It might just be understanding, hey, I can't come tonight because of whatever, As long as the band is driving in one direction, with the same focus, then all the rest of the little hurdles we can get over. And Shanks has been playing with us for a long time now, and we've just kind of worked out how to get along. He needs space at times, especially when we're on the road. And I kind of need someone to have a conversation with. So we work that out. We work out how to treat each other, and I think that's really important for longevity of bands.
See, it's good that you get
understanding
along.
where each other's at.
Absolutely, because you're three different personalities. We have 8 billion people on this planet. We're all different personalities, so we have to adjust a little bit to try to get along with each other. But I noticed it says Bowie, the other one. Yeah, David Bowie was one of my favorites.
Not the David Bowie, the Alex Bowie.
Yeah, that's the one you need to know about, my loyal listener. All right, I want to be respectful of your time. Usually I go an hour with these things, but I know you're on.
Oh man, I got time, dude. I got time. So you just do your thing.
Oh my goodness, man.
Talk some other stuff. Yeah.
Well, no, I know you're on break and everything, so I don't want to. I know that we can come back at any time and talk about projects that are happening.
Sure.
And I know, man, albums. I used to pick up albums when I was on the radio. And I enjoyed, as I was putting that platter on the Technique turntable, I would pick up the album, looking inside at the liner notes I mean, you say you still print CDs. Do you put liner notes in, give a little information about the song, where you
definitely.
were? I mean, what kind of info is in? I'll say one of the songs or in the liner notes. What? Oh, here he has a CD right next to him.
I actually don't have a copy yet.
Okay,
I've got one of the old ones. I got one of the Chronicles ones.
There you go. Well, tell me about the liner notes in there.
So the liner notes is inside. This is a full lyric sheet. So this is lyrics to absolutely every song on the album. You know, it's a big document.
I like that.
This time around, we decided that we were going to kind of cover off that online, but still who is the band? You know, who we thank, where we recorded the album, all that sort of guff, which is important to me. I still buy recorded media. I still buy CDs. I still buy vinyl. Actually bought a whole pile of vinyl recently. 4 albums of the band got their back catalogue on vinyl, and they didn't have a single album sleeve. And I was really disappointed at that. But that's consumerism. That's it's not important to people, and it's costly to do more artwork. It's costly to do more printing. So we try and give as much as we can just on the smallest format possible, I guess. But yeah, if you're picking up a CD, there's the liner notes, there's where we recorded it, there's who we did it, who mastered it, the staff of the band, that kind of stuff. So there's still stuff to read.
Yeah, you're giving credit where credit is due, and that's nice, man, because it's a team. You can only go so far on your own. Matt Pogue, you can go upstairs, you can get your guitar, you can sing, you can make a demo, but you need your boys to help you out. You need Dave over at the studio to go even further.
Totally.
So it's nice. And tell me about the team that's helping you navigate this social media. Are you doing it all yourself?
Yeah, so Shanks is your man. So he does most of our social media. I chime in here or there, but it's not my forte. He also does all of our videos. So, we produce our own film clips in-house. We find a location. We've got a videographer that slides in, shoots it, and then gives all the raw footage back to Shanks, and Shanks produces it all. Just due to the fact that we're trying to keep costs down, and we feel that, video content's really important to help the track translate. When you're watching nothing and it's uninteresting, the song doesn't translate. And if you're just listening to a random MP3 from somewhere, if it doesn't have any tangibility to it, Dan, it doesn't resonate with you, So we're a big believer in putting out video content with the songs. And to keep a cost down, we do it all ourselves, and there's been a few lessons there, hasn't always been awesome, but we're getting there, and I hope it's rocking you.
Man, it definitely is rocking me, and I've been a working DJ since '86. I don't play a lot of instruments. I've had guitars. I have a full piano sitting out there. I could the tambourine, the harmonica. Can't play anything. I have to play stuff from you, and I've been on the radio, and I've been a mobile DJ since then. And videos, my goodness, MTV was still playing music videos back then. Hey, anybody remember those? No, you don't remember MTV playing music videos? Well, they did, and I used to take 2 VCRs.
Sitting up late at night watching Headbangers Ball, man.
Yeah, I'd take 2 VCRs and like an AV setup, and I would play, do like a music video party, going video to video to video. And of course, I had my techniques when I was doing music parties. But those days are gone. I've mixed them all together, gave up my techniques, and now it's music video parties. Whenever I go out, I put up a couple of screens, cool. And I play videos, and I'll be playing some Simple Stone videos this weekend for sure.
Hey, cool, thanks, man.
My goodness, you awesome. Rock so hard that Tina, the bartender over at the Rab, I know she's gonna get up on the table and she's gonna say, "Who is that? I gotta know," because she is all about the edge. She likes the metal. She likes it when it rocks.
Yeah, no.
I mean, sometimes I'll do an 80s party or a 70s party, but I think this weekend it's gonna be metal. It's gonna rock. Yeah. So I think
There you go.
you'd fit right
Tell
in.
them all I said g'day, eh?
Oh, for sure. I'm saying it right now because I think Tina's a loyal listener. But
There you go. Hey, Tina.
notwithstanding, but my goodness, man, okay? You're making albums, which is strange already to me. Nowadays, people are putting out just singles. You put out a single at a time. What gives you the idea that you still have to make albums? Is it because you can't give up the old for the new, or what's happening?
No, I guess when you put an album together, it becomes a story. It becomes a story of, a few years that you've put it together. Now, in that time, mind you, we do other things. We do some covers. We do, the random single. We're doing a song with Ashley Bean Band. She's a fellow US woman. She's done some backing vocals on a song called Start Over, which we will release, in the coming months. So we do try and do things in between it to keep our hand in and keep us interested. But doing a full-length album for the people that care and for the fans that want material and they want something other than just a song, it's there. And sometimes, well, not sometimes, I've never been able to do it. Maybe some people can. Trying to get all of your musical focus into one song is nigh impossible for them, right? So we've got acoustic, influences. We've got metal influences. We've got rock influences, and so we write a body of songs. We put out, the entire album, and it's there for people, I guess, to pick through and find their favorites, Well, so an album's still important. Important.
I saw where Miss Bean was thanking you for allowing her to sing your song. Is that something new? Yeah. Are you just starting to do collaborations? Because I didn't see you doing a lot of collaborations in the past. Is that something that's happening soon?
Well, the big thing is that here in Sydney, we approached, all of our peers, our fellow musicians, and they all didn't want a bar of it, The song All the Same, which was the first song off the Through This Dark album, I wanted to get all of the singers and from all of the local bands that we play with. We stand shoulder to shoulder, Friday, Saturday nights, and get them all on the one track. So everybody said yes, sent it all out. Nobody got a track back to me. Nobody got a single breath back to me, which was disappointing, but we just had to look further afield, man. So, to share the music with Ashley's been awesome because I'm not a female voice. I've got a deep male voice. She's got a cracking good chick voice. And it just, when I wrote the song, there was more than me going on that vocal line. And I just had to put it out to somebody who would be interested. And Ashley put her hand up and it was cool. So that, it also assists, our audiences and her audiences. It lets the song transcend, more than what we're about. It gives, awesomeness to something that wasn't going to be awesome if I did it,
No, it just adds that much flavor to your songs. But, you touched on something, the musical community. The people don't know that the musicians, the best ones, are not stepping on each other. They're singing together with each other. They're collaborating. Yeah. They're getting ideas from each other. One of my favorite concerts that I go to are the festivals. And it takes a lot of pressure off of a single band if they know all they have to do is play a couple of songs and then take a break. Another band will come on, play a couple songs, maybe do a set, 20 minutes, 40 minutes, whatever. They could take a break, and if they got to come later in the festival for the afternoon show, hey, they can go off, meditate, have something to eat. It takes a lot of pressure off of a solo band. I think one of my one of the best concerts I saw, and I know it's totally off of this, is Bruce Springsteen. He went 3 hours, 45 minutes, kind of collapsed, went off stage for about 15 minutes, came back, did another 45 minutes. I was like, I have to go to school tomorrow. This is 1984, but I was so happy But he played for, oh my, it had to be over 4 hours. It really was. But,
Wow.
But
That's
to have
crazy.
one band do that, it's a lot of pressure to be put on one band. I mean, do you like festivals, or do you like, playing at a club? What's your go-to gig?
Yeah, man. What's my go-to? We play anything. We also do, we do a full rock show, which we love, but we also do what we call our bare bones sessions, and that's where we just sit on a bunch of acoustic guitars and do acoustic variations of our song. It's kind of the other side of the itch that you scratch, But anywhere where there's an audience participation, anywhere where there's people singing back at us, anywhere where there's someone that you can teach the lyrics to your song so they sing back at you, I like, I love an intimate room. I like a small room where you can see eye to eye with people, and you can, you can see that they're singing. You can almost lip sync, or lip read your own lyrics coming back. That's really cool, And then the bigger stages are certainly awesome as well, like you're reaching a bigger audience and there's more people having fun, and there's a particular vibe in each of those settings. And, man, if I've got a guitar in my own, man, I'm having a good time, so.
Yeah, it's one thing to be, in front of 50,000 of your closest friends, and they're all screaming for more and singing your songs, and they know all the lyrics, especially off of the last album that has all the lyrics on the liner notes. That's fantastic, man.
Sure.
They know all the words to the songs. They've been practicing, to get you on your show. Yeah, you watch those, 50,000 people. Yes, you get a good chunk of change. You take that extra cheese home to your wife, and she says, "Thank you, honey. Thanks for working so hard. Appreciate that." But then,
that's what she says.
To strip it down, to do those close up, those unplugged, when Extreme did More Than Words,
Oh yeah, totally.
Oh my goodness, when Nirvana did the MTV Unplugged, that was a whole thing, and just those stripped down. Maybe Bowie's got a cajon that he's playing.
He does, man. Yeah, he's got a shaker, he's got a tambourine. There's some stuff in there,
There's nothing like that to get really intimate, and then afterwards you can meet up over at the merch table. Shake a hand, grab a CD,
totally.
Get a hat. Oh my goodness, that is the maybe sign an arm, but
yeah,
or something else, whatever, It's rock and roll. Who knows? I tell you, I hit a nerve. But
so
go ahead.
Yeah, we've got a couple of.
You cut out on me.
Is an acoustic show.
You cut out on me. Yeah, go ahead. We got a couple of what?
So we're headed north in the next couple of weeks, and we're going up to Armidale, which is always pretty crazy. It's wild up in Armidale. We always have a very good time. And on the way back, we're stopping into a little town and doing a bare bones set, so an acoustic set. It's almost really wholesome to come back and sit and do something like that. It's a completely different feel. But, it pays for petrol. We get a room stay. We get fed. We get paid for the gig. Puts money in the pocket, to stay on the road. And, we've got to, be respectful of the venue and what they can provide for us and what we can provide for them. And the bare bones stuff, at the minute really does fill the gap, So, we just do everything. We do everything, man.
That's for sure. All right, let's wind this thing down. Now, for the people that want to keep up with your shows and want to follow you around and become groupies, where's the best place to keep you up to date, up to the minute? Is it the website or is it social media? Where do you want people to find you?
Yeah, it'll be social media, man. It'll be social media. That stuff gets updated on the fly when events go up, and you can find them all there too.
Okay, I found all the links to the Simple Stone. I got the band, the website, the Facebook, the Twitter, the Instagram, the YouTube, the Spotify, and the Bandcamp. So I'm going to put those all in the show notes and make sure that people click on those. And, hey, you got the Spotify. You might as well take a listen to the Simple Stone music and keep it on loop. Do it while you sleep.
Totally.
Yeah, I said it.
The other thing is, let's not neglect. Let's go to Bandcamp, click purchase, get some merch. That'd be awesome.
There
That
you
would
go.
support us greatly.
See, I wonder about Bandcamp. Okay, that's what it's for. That's the merch place to go.
Yeah.
Simplestone.bandcamp.com. Do it. Do it now. Okay. Hey,
Do it, please.
I always finish these things off. Give a few shout outs to people that have helped you along the way, and then we'll take this thing home.
Yeah, cool. So I'd like to give a shout out to Rock Avenue Records USA. The good people over there have given us the experience to be able to get our music out worldwide. It's been awesome. They've been good people. Shout out to my boys, Shanks and Bowie. They're two good guys. We get wild and we get quiet all at the same time. Couldn't do it without them. Be like, a soccer team without a goalie, couldn't do it without them. Family, they let me do it. Massive amounts of respect. And, to all the fans, thank you so much for all your support. Thank you for purchasing our merchandise. Thank you for keeping our streams up. Thanks for being our audience. We are forever grateful, and you are the most important part of our journey. So thank you very much.
Well, and I have to give a shout out for you since I've been staring at Keece, Keece.
Oh, yeah.
They gave you a break.
Yeah, they gave me a break. We're electricians, man, so if you need to get sparky, give Keece a call.
There's a good dude to have around. That's fantastic. Okay. All right. Let's finish this things off with last words for the people. I don't want this to be the last time that we talk. In fact, if Shanks and Bowie want to come on and do a thing, we could do a thing with them as well. No problem. But
yeah, man, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, I always finish these things off with last words for the people. It could be words to live by, something you heard a long time ago, maybe a mantra that you wake up with every morning, or just whatever pops into your head at this moment in time. Matt Pogue, Simple Stone, give the last words for the people.
Be good to each other. Love one another. That's my advice. Be a good dude or dudette. That's where I'm at.
Well, there you have it, party people. Matt Pogue of Simple Stone. What a cool dude. He took his break time to talk to us, to talk to little old me here in the US of A, in Arkansas. I'm so happy about that, man. Matt Pogue, you're a good dude. You're a good dad. You're a good husband. I can tell, man. You're a good dude, and you love your boys, man. Your bandmates. You take care of them, and they take care of you, and then together you rock. You rock, and it's, man. I can't get over it enough. It's very stripped down. It's your basic rock band that rocks. Lead guitar, vocalist, bassist, drummer. That's all you need. A 3-piece and a biscuit. Now, why am I guess I'm hungry. I must be hungry. Yeah. So a 3-piece band, and you bring it. I mean, I'm watching the videos, and I know they go out to a Simple Stone band show, they're going to get what they want. They're going to get what they came for, and a little bit more, and a whole lot more, I suspect. And big ups to Dave over there at the studio for cleaning up that sound and making it sound just right. Man, good studio, good live, and buy some merch. Head over to simplestone.com, simplestoneband.com.au. That's the main site. But Simple Stone, yeah, I know, you said it at the end. I know, Matt Pogue, you said it at the end. simplestone.bandcamp.com. Go get some merch. Make sure they can buy some more equipment. Because, all right, even I know, all right, in the entertainment business, if you make $1, 99 cents goes right back into the business, because your microphone is on the fritz, because your mixer is on the fritz, because you need a new laptop to mix everything down, because you need a new drum kit, new guitar, new bass. You need some new stuff, because the old stuff, just like all other electronics, they wear out. So you need to get some money to this band so they can keep doing what they do. And go see a live show, wherever you are. If you're in Australia, I think almost anywhere in Australia, they're going to come to you. But if you're anywhere in the world, maybe even not in Australia, support your local band. That's, you see that Facebook invite, you see that flyer on Instagram or Twitter, and you see them doing a TikTok dance because they want you to come to their show. Go to their show. Get off your duff. I know you got the big screen TV with your big movies and your Netflix and your Hulus at the house, but get up every once in a while. Go see a local live show. It's important, man, and it'll make you feel good. It'll change your mind, change your mood, change your feeling, change your life. But Matt Pogue, man, good talking to you. I appreciate you so much. I look forward to hearing more from you in the future. That's it for this edition of What Makes You Famous. Now, if you, yes, you, my loyal listener, if you'd like to tell your story, I encourage you to give me a call, 501-470-6386, or email keysdan@aol.com. That's it for me. It's keysdan, radiowhat.com, djlittlerock.com. Peace. I'm out of here.